up the middle, looking for Purinen, slips through his feet and all the way back to Knopfsinger as he's going to have some time now to settle down.
Allows him also, Brody Knopfsinger that is, to control the ball more, make more plays, make something happen for some of the Goshen attack.
Keeper Dean Knopfsinger clears the ball up the far sideline looking for Ashelman. He flicks it forward looking for Stoltzfus. It's going to be intercepted there as that is Lugo, taps it back to number 15, Redvani. Ball on the far side now, Lugo with it. Drops it off for Morty, that is, excuse me. He drops it all the way back to White, touches it middle, and ball ends up back at the foot of Morty. He plays it forward, finds Gomes. He's looking for a through ball to Purinen. It's going to be deflected off of Chupp. He's going to have the ball settle it down. Finds the foot of Knopfsinger. He's got some space to turn. Drops it back to Reed instead. Reed gets to Venderly, goes over to Garcia, and completes all the way to the far sideline to Ashelman.
Yeah, Chris Venderly, also a player that sometimes gets overlooked at that midfield position, a player that had Goshen's first three shots, and honestly, looking at Goshen's shots from last night, they only had 4, and he had 3 of them. So, yeah, he's a playmaker in the middle. It's nice to have someone like him. Of course, he's a very quick player, and he dribbles the ball extremely well.
We're just under 10 minutes into the contest, still 0-0 as Georgia Gwinnett remains on the offensive attack. Ball cleared out by Garcia there. Finds Nussbaum. He touches it out wide to fellow classman Eshelman. Up to Stoltzfus and completes the swing looking for Knopfsinger. He gets a touch just too far out of reach, and Gurr is going to be able to track this one down. Knopfsinger in pursuit. Ball dropped back to Sharp, and he's going to clear it out. Ball at that field. That's going to be Bontrager to head that forward looking for Stoltzfus. He flicks it forward. Redgrave intercepts that pass. Redgrave swings it to the left side looking for Lugo. He's going to bring it back to the near side looking for De Piazza. It's going to be overplayed there, and Francois Revalier is going to be able to track it down. He tries to play it up the line, deflected off De Piazza. Goshen College throw in.
And originally supposed to be starting tonight was Martin Torbillo, but was then a late scratch in favor of Andrew White.
Francois Revalier on the near sideline. Looks up line. Stoltzfus flicks it forward looking for Nussbaum. It's going to be come over him as Muhene to win it. Plays it forward looking for Gomes. Bontrager on his back. Bontrager wins the header. They're going to say too much pushing on the back there. And so free kick for Georgia Gwinnett. Angled over from the goal towards the near sideline. Directly in line with us. What would you say, maybe 30, 35 yards?
I'd say that's fair.
Looks like it's going to be Purinen to take this one. Morty in the area as well.
It'll be interesting to see exactly what they have planned here on this set piece. They are just in front of their dugout, and they've got about, 6 players in the box now, and they're holding 2 back with one as a convoy here in the middle.
I think I saw a stat that said of their 12 goals thus far this season, 6 or 7 of them have been on set pieces like this. They're tall defensive backs coming forward and winning it. So ball gets played in and it bounces around, settles down to the foot of Gomes. He tries to get a shot off. Deflected to Nussbaum coming up the far sideline. Gets it up to Stoltzfus. He tries to turn. It's going to be clipped from behind. That's going to be Redvani. It's going to be a foul. Goshen College with a free kick just over the half-field line.
Chupp there with his first block of the season on that shot and preventing good scoring chance for Georgia Gwinnett.
Taking it is Reed. Plays it forward towards Stoltzfus. He looks to turn. Ends up going towards the far corner. Gets around White. Tries to touch it around Redvani. However, he's going to be able to deflect it up towards Lugo. Lugo cuts it back, guarded by Garcia. Gets around him on the line. They're going to call a foul there as Garcia wiped him out pretty well.
You know, between Baker and Georgia Gwinnett, already we've seen it 2 or 3 times, is that they prevent crosses from even getting into the air and getting balls into the box, which is very difficult, seeing as good as some of these defenders are.
Ball gets swung to the near sideline. Gurr tries to keep it in bounds. Unable to do so. Misses the touch there. Throwing for the Maple Leafs. Knopfsinger with it now. De Piazza tracks back to win that one. Knopfsinger now tracking back to win it back. They're going to call a foul. A little bit of a nudge in the back there. They're going to say tug on the jersey. The middle official signals. And so another free kick. Same location as the last one for Georgia Gwinnett.
That's already the second foul called on Knopfsinger so far in this game. I'd say the first one a little more physical than the second one, but the refs thought otherwise.
Piernan standing over the ball once again here. Piernan, number 10, that is, yes, Matty Piernan. He's a junior out of Helsinki, Finland. A culture team here for Georgia Gwinnett.
To say the least.
This ball gets whipped in towards the far post. Players battling for it. Finds the head of Redgrave, however. Not enough power on that one. It's going to bounce. And it wasn't on goal either, I suppose, as it bounces out of bounds. Goal kick for keeper Dean Knopfsinger and the Maple Leafs.
Only the second shot on net of the game, both coming from Georgia Gwinnett. Not a whole lot of chances. We've seen good midfield play so far, and possession being a little bit in favor of Georgia Gwinnett.
Ball played towards the middle. Fighting for it is Reed and Benderly, as well as Piernan and Morty. Maple Leafs going to come out on top of this one as Benderly gets it up to Nussbaum. He has it on his left foot, 20 yards out. He's going to have a hit towards the far post. Dribbles just wide all the way back to the five-core crew, five-core media, taking some shots, some video shots of this evening's game, getting some footage for the team.
Nussbaum's 21st shot of the season. Whew. And in a short amount of time, this is only the fifth game. He had 7 shots in the first game of the season at Cornerstone, with none of them going into the net yet, but his goal will come soon enough.
Ball along the back line for Gwinnett. The Grizzlies keeping possession as we hit the 30-minute mark here left in the first half. We've played 15 minutes of soccer. We're still tied 0-0. Coming forward now is Gomes with it on his right foot. Tries to touch it through. He finds Lugo. Lugo tries to take a touch.
Yep.
Brought down from behind by Garcia. They're going to say penalty kick for Georgia Gwinnett. Clock has been stopped. Doesn't look like we're going to get a card on this one, but a penalty nonetheless.
And just not. Well, maybe you think a little different than this. Do you think that's a smart play, Andrew, right there?
I don't think so. Garcia came in from behind, and it looked like Chupp was coming in from the side and was going to be able to get to that one anyway. And so the nudge from Garcia, a little unneeded.
Yeah.
However, penalty kick clock is stopped at 29:53. Looks like it's going to be White, Andrew White, the freshman defender, taking the kick. He's out of Condon, England. He comes in with his left, puts it towards the far post. Knopfsinger guesses towards the near post, and that's going to be the first goal of the game. Georgia Gwinnett now takes the 1-0 lead on a penalty kick goal from, like I said, freshman defender Andrew White. 29:53 mark on the clock here. Once again, you're tuned to 91.1 The Globe, your home for Goshen College Athletics. We're here at the Goshen College Soccer Complex as the Goshen College Classic comes to an end here. This is the last game of the evening and of the Classic. Goshen taking on Georgia Gwinnett. Gwinnett just scored the first goal of the contest on a penalty kick to take the 1-0 lead. We've still got 30 minutes of action left here in the first half as ball is restarted. Ball comes to the near sideline to Gurr. He's going to swing it into the box. Chupp's going to be able to get a foot on that, and then Bontrager with the official clear up towards the far sideline. Ashelman and Radvanyi battling for it. It comes off Radvanyi's head, however, dribbles out of bounds. Throw in for Ashelman.
Looks like Isak Huerta looks to check in at the next stoppage of play. He had himself a little bit of a groin injury that he was stretching out yesterday and early this morning when he was running around 9 a.m. around the field. And he said when I was talking to him personally, I just asked how he was feeling. He said he might give it a go tonight, and looks like that will be the case.
Yeah, much needed, much missed speed and footwork for the Maple Leafs, especially as an offensive player.
Of course, we're talking about the 2014 Indiana Player of the Year, not to mention a team.
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, a player that is going to boost the attack for sure of the Goshen team this year.
Ball in the midfield with Stoltz. Foose has it, touches it over to Knopfsinger. He's going to drop it back, and that's going to be picked off. Morty with it now for the Grizzlies. Drops off to De Piazza. He tries to take touch middle. Knopfsinger pokes that one free towards the near sideline. Then gets the nutmeg around him. Tries to cut it back for Knopfsinger making a corner run. That is intercepted there. Morty with it, looking around. Touches off towards the near sideline for Gurr. Gurr plays it up towards the middle No one there except for Chupp for the Maple Leafs. Tries to slide it up middle. Purinen with a beautiful slide to intercept that pass there. Gets it near sideline for Gomes. He's got nothing. He holds. Gurr making a run up the line. Dumps it middle to Purinen. Drops it off to Morty. Morty switches field to White, who plays it back this way for Redgrave. Takes a touch around Nussbaum and keeps it coming this way for Morty on the near sideline. He touches middle to Purinen. His touch middle is intercepted by Venderly. Maple Leafs regain possession. Stoltzfus and Ashelman working a little 1-2 action on the far sideline. Stoltzfus with it now looks middle, trying to find Nussbaum. Fortunately, finds Redgrave instead. Garcia gets the clear, settles it down, dumps it off for, that is Chupp. Gets it right back to Garcia. He dribbles towards the middle and drops it back for Bontrager.
Bontrager making his second start of the season. His first came last night.
Ball in the Maple Leaf defensive half.
We're also seeing Chupp, of course, now with possession, and it's nice to see that he's all right after what we saw yesterday was a ball that he was trying to clear, but also his goalkeeper, Dean Knopfsinger, trying to clear and got booted in the head. It's good to see that he's all right.
On the attack now for the Grizzlies, it's Morty. He passes that out far corner, looking for Lugo. Lugo's going to whip one off the left foot towards the middle. It's going to float over the crossbar and on top of the goal. That's out of bounds. That's a goal kick for the Leafs.
And Isak Huerta now checking into the game for Brody Knopfsinger.
Quality first 20 minutes there for Knopfsinger. Really the energy Maple Leafs needed. 26 minutes left here in the first half to be exact. And Goshen trails 1-0 as Georgia Gwinnett scored on a penalty kick that was the 16th minute, technically, I guess.
And I think Goshen can afford to use more of their subs this evening. Last night it was presumed that they were saving them for tonight. But nice to see some fresh legs getting out there.
Ashelman and Gurr going at it on the near sideline. Ball comes up towards Muhene. He drops it back to Gurr. Touches it middle to Morty, and they're out of the pressure. Morty up the near line to Muhene. Looks middle for Gomes. He's going to be bumped from behind. Ends up falling to the foot of Muhene. Driving forward, he takes a rip. Mishit it definitely. Dribbles in on the ground right to the hands of Knopfsinger. Ball played up. Now back in the middle. Morty settles down and plays it over to Lugo. He touches. Coming back, that's going to be picked off from Nussbaum. Flicks it over to Huerta on the far sideline. He takes a touch towards the middle. Gets around one. Takes a touch to Stoltzfus. He's in the box. He tries to cut it back. It's going to be intercepted. And then playing on the ground, looks like they're going to say the hand is up for the official. They're going to say handball in the box. That means it's going to be indirect. This is on the edge of the corner of the 6 box right there. Indirect kick for the Maple Leafs. It'll be interesting to see how they play this. This is one of those things that you don't really think is ever going to happen until it does.
Yeah, and of course there's not much preparation for something like this. But this is the best chance so far of the night for Goshen, without a doubt.
All 11 Georgia Gwinnett players are inside the 6, except for De Piazza, who's standing at the penalty spot looking for any passes up there. A wall looks like it's 4 players, right? 4 or 5, maybe adding a 6th or 7th. Players on each of the posts. Really a ton of people in a very small area right now.
Yeah. This is, as you mentioned, something that we just don't see a whole lot.
Interesting to see as a ball driven right towards there's like a wall if you take the shot right away. So you got to touch middle, but who knows what you'll be able to get from that. Hand is up. We're ready to play. Waiting for Eshelman and Venderly. Whistle blows. Touches middle to Nussbaum. Tries to take a shot. He pokes it again. It bounces out. Cleared out by Morty. Great defensive stand there. Pops out to Garcia. He's going to take a hit. And that's going to bounce, deflect right into the hands of Sharp. Coming up the far sideline now, quickly out of their defensive half. That is Gwinnett. However, Stoltzfus tracking back for the Leafs. He's going at it with Gomes. Garcia slides. Gomes touches it around him, going towards the end line. He's going to track it down and turn with it. Stoltzfus in defense, tracking all the way back from up top. He's going to win this one. Gomes goes down. They're going to say foul's going to be called on Stoltzfus actually there. So play this roughly as a corner. It's just 10 yards closer in along the end line there. Georgia Gwinnett with another free kick opportunity as we now have 23 minutes left here in the first half. Once again, the visiting Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies up 1-0. Georgia Gwinnett ranked number 13th in the nation. Not sure how that'll hold up after the weekend's over, as they lost to Holy Cross last night.
And this is a good chance here. It looks like it'll be Gurr, the one standing over the ball.
5 players in the box for the Grizzlies. Ball is lofted up. Chupp able to get up and win that once again for the Leafs, and cleared out. Ashelman coming the other way, tries to find it up line to, that's Francois Revalier. Picked off by De Piazza. His cross in over everyone's head. Garcia's going to track down. No defensive pressure from the Grizzlies. Working forward now is Garcia. Touches it forward to Stoltzfus. He's going to flick it up the line for himself, trying to track it down. He's got Morty. Cuts inside. Morty's going to slide in front of him and intercept that. Ball now on the far corner with White. He touches middle for Muhene. Touches up the line for Lugo, who's going to look to keep it on that side. Finds Gomes. Or not Gomes. That is Redvani. He plays it up the line looking for Gomes. Chupp able to track that one down first, though.
And coming on, a substitution for the Grizzlies. It'll be number 14, John Connor, at the next stoppage of play, it looks like.
We've got, looks like the ref's calling him on now. Once again, number 14, as stated by Brad Stoltzfus, that is John Connor, the sophomore forward out of Logan'sville, Georgia. One of the American citizen, or one of the Americans on the team. Few and far between.
Yeah, how about it? And checking off is Martin Lugo for Georgia Gwinnett.
Ball thrown back in now on the far sideline. It's Gomes with it. Takes a touch end line, trying to get around. That is Chupp. His touch too big. It's going to be a goal kick for the Maple Leafs.
And just 24 minutes into this game, we're seeing a good possession in favor mainly of the Grizzlies so far, but Goshen has had themselves a few good chances, and they're just trying to get past that last defender, and it looks like it's causing a little bit of issue for the Maple Leafs.
Knopfsinger's goal kick gets the ball back in play. Ball in the middle. Nussbaum is going to try to settle this one down. Running towards the far sideline. Connor in pursuit. Connor's going to get there first, trying to turn up the corner. However, not able to do so. Goes over the far sideline, pretty much right at half field.
The sun is slowly but surely going down, which means if there's any issue seeing the ball in the glare, we'll be going down.
Student section asking the sub about to check in Andreas Jederstrom to do a dance. He turns and kind of smiles at them, doesn't quite know what to do, looks over towards his bench. Hasn't done a dance yet, though, so... However, we know he smiled, so it's in good humor. Good. Ball bouncing around in the middle, still no possessions either way right now. Reed with it for the Leafs. Tries to touch it up line to Ashelman, intercepted by Gurr. Gets it up to De Piazza. Tries to touch it up line, ends up at the foot of Purinen. He goes middle to Gomes. That's picked off by Venderly. Then right over to Connor in the middle. Morty with it, drops it back as Gwinnett tries to calm things down. Now on the far sideline, Redvani up line to Connor. Connor cutting into the box, now gets around one, gets by Chupp. He slides, keeps the ball in play, pokes it away, drops it up top. It's going to take a touch, and that's going to be Muhene, takes a rip, takes a deflection off of Garcia. Coming the other way now, it's Ashelman, touches it up to, that is Stoltzfus. Touches it through to looking for Huerta. However, Sharp's going to come out and scoop this one up before Huerta can get to it. Ball now in the middle. Morty with it. He turns. Keeps it coming this way. Muhene. He looks up towards the middle for De Piazza. He gets it, turns, and dribbles towards the far sideline. Takes a touch towards the goal. Touches it around, tries to run through. That's going to be cleared out of the way by Chupp over the far sideline. Throw in now for Georgia Gwinnett. Sub finally checking in, Andreas Jederstrom. See, looks like coming out is going to be number 10, Matty Purinen.
Grizzlies substitution, number 22, 22, Andreas Jederstrom. For number 10, Matty Purinen.
Ball thrown in play. Looks like it's going to be Gomes. He drops it off, looking to play with O'Connor. O'Connor dribbles backwards as he has nothing going forward. Nussbaum in pursuit. Finally, Nussbaum slides and finally pokes the ball free out of bounds. It's going to be another throw-in for Gwinnett. Ball back in play along the back line for the Leafs. Chupp's going to clear it up. Another throw-in for Gwinnett. We've got just under 18 minutes left here in the first half. Georgia Gwinnett leads Goshen College by a score of 1-0 on a penalty kick from Andrew White in the 16th minute here in the first half.
Not a very smart play going back to the Goshen defender Garcia on that one. A pretty
Ball whipped into the box, looking for just checking in. Yetterstrom unable to find him. Gets cleared out to Ashelman at the top. Ball ends up at the foot of Yetterstrom. He gets the ball, tries to get around Vennerly, unable to do so. Ball comes out to Francois Valier, plays it up the near sideline to the corner. However, Stoltzfus was checking two instead of going to the corner. Tracking that ball down is Redgrave for the Grizzlies. He dribbles forward, no pressure. Gets it over to White. He's going to dribble forward. Closest Maple Leaf, still a solid 10 to 15 yards away. Tries to get it middle to Gomes. He's going to mistouch it, and it's going to end up with Garcia. He plays it up to Huerta, who gets it to Stoltzfus, coming up the far sideline. He takes a touch and cuts it back middle, looking for Huerta. Finds the foot of Redvani, flicks it out behind. Ball ends up in possession. Connor on the far sideline now. Touches it middle to Morty, who's going to swing it near way. He ends up dropping it all the way back to Sharp.
just looking to reset things as the Grizzlies, and they are a very good team that gets possession of the ball.
Coming the other way now, it's Gomes, defended by Chupp. Chupp's going to slide, ends up on the ground, but gets the ball, pokes out to Connor. He takes a touch along the 18 running parallel, gets it over to Yetterstrom. He's going to take a rip. That's going to float high and wide. Goal kick for the Maple Leafs.
Nice little breeze in the air tonight as the sun officially has gone down, and under the lights is this match between Goshen College and Georgia Gwinnett. Of course, you're tuned in to 91.1 The Globe for this evening's match that started a little late, later than usual. That is supposed to start at 7 o'clock. The game before between Baker and Holy Cross just went a little late because it went into overtime. So we bring you action still from the first half.
15 and change left, actually, in that first half. Goshen with throw-in on the near sideline in their defensive half. Francois Revalier to take. Comes up line looking for Nofsinger. Finds the head of Muhene. He gets up there to head that ball out of bounds a little bit farther up the line. Revalier to take again. Still looking for Stoltzfus. This time Redgrave comes forward to win it. Ball bounces back to Francois Revalier. He's battling with Gomes for it. Gets it over to Yetterstrom. Trying to play it through for Connors. Garcia picks that one off. Plays it up the line.
Oh, there we go.
He finds, looks like it's going to be Huerta. Sharp coming way out, halfway to midfield there to clear that ball up the line. Garcia wins the header, gets it up to Nussbaum, plays it back to Reed, up to Stoltzfus. Redgrave on his back. Stoltzfus gets around him, coming to the left. Looks to cut it back to the middle. Redgrave able to poke that one out from behind, and coming the other way now. Reed gets in his way. He just puts a hand to the face of Reed, and that's going to be a foul on Redgrave. Goshen with a solid opportunity here, 35 yards away from goal.
Good fair call there by the ref. It's something that we just don't see get called all too much with, I mean, realistically, with a player moving from their defensive third up, basically just trying to get forward and just a little too aggressive there from the Grizzlies. So it looks like to be about a 30 or so yard kick.
Yeah, that's one thing. It's like you can get away with that if you're playing defense, but not when you're on offense necessarily. Nussbaum to take this one. He rips it towards the near post on the ground. It's going to swing wide. Goal kick for the Grizzlies.
A little bit of a selfish play there from Nussbaum, as it looked like Coach Patrick, the one trying to point out that, hey, he had a Ashelman there on the side, and wasted opportunity there for Goshen.
13 and a half left here in the first half. Georgia Gwinnett leads Goshen College 1-0 to the last game of the Goshen College Classic here this weekend from the Goshen College Soccer Complex. Ball played to the far middle. Yetterstrom trying to track it down. Plays it up the line for Connor, however. Chupp able to get that one. Chupp really having a solid night defensively for the Leafs. Ball comes back up. Chupp once again gets a head on it and flicks it over to Garcia. Connor trying to track him down. He plays it up towards the middle. Muheni with it now. Muheni brings it this way looking for De Piazza. His volley forward finds the head of Bontrager, who gets it to Francois Valliere and up the near sideline. Morty tracks it down and has it looking up the near sideline, going the other direction. Finds Gomes on his back. That is Bontrager. He wins it and touches it middle. Finds Venderly over to Eshelman, up to Reed. Touch middle to Stoltzfus. Stoltzfus back to Chupp.
Good one-touch passing so far here from Goshen in this possession. They want to get something going here.
Chupp to Venderly. Venderly up to Stoltzfus. Tries to find Nussbaum, just leaves it a little too far behind him. Coming the other way now is Yetterstrom. He brings it to the near corner, looking for Gomes. He's through, however, Knopfsinger's going to come out and grab this, or slide this one up. 12 minutes left on the clock here. Once again, Goshen with possession. It's Chupp looking towards the middle, finds Nussbaum. Tries to drop it off for Venderly. Morty picks it off for the Grizzlies. Touches it forward. Yetterstrom drops it off for Muhene. He plays through for Gomes, leaves it too far forward. He's going to dribble all the way back to Knopfsinger.
Looks like Goshen getting a little over anxious and not having as good as possessions as they're capable of. We're seeing a little bit of play at the midfield.
It seems like they're not expecting to be able to complete all those one-touch passes in a row because they get 2 or 3 of them, and then the next player's not ready for it. He's not in the right position because he didn't think they were going to get the...
If you're looking at a team like Georgia Gwinnett, if you're looking at a team like Baker that they saw yesterday, they kept possession and they kept it well. Even if they didn't have that pass there, they would set things back up by giving it back to the defender.
Exactly, and they anticipate. Anticipation is big in knowing where the ball is going to happen. Ball coming up the middle now. It's Gomes with it, drops it off for Yetterstrom. They're going to call a foul on Bontrager for being on his back too much. Yetterstrom touches the ball and puts it right back in play. Over on the far sideline now is Connor, guarded by Garcia. Takes the end line. Connor much faster than Garcia, as you can see there. He gets into the box. Chupp blocks the cross in, though. Chupp tries to play it up towards the middle. However, Yetterstrom intercepts that and plays it near sideline for De Piazza. He's going to take a touch and turn the corner. Guarded by Francois Valliere. He whips one into the middle. No one there except for Garcia. He almost settled it right to the foot of Morty there. That almost scary.
And that is just, as we mentioned, good anticipation from Morty to realize that, hey, if he doesn't chest this ball down, get in control of it, that ball's going right to my foot and hopefully in the back of the net. But in the case of Goshen's back line, which has been very impressive so far this season, they're lucky to see that ball get cleared away.
Ball on the far sideline. It's Morty. He touches the middle for Gomes. Bontrager on his back. And once again, they're going to call a foul on Bontrager as Gomes tried to let the ball run through and then turn, and Bontrager was standing in the way. Not sure if I agree with this foul. Some of the earlier ones, yes, but however, there it just seemed like Bontrager was standing there.
Yeah.
And Gomes ran into him. But oh well, nonetheless, free kick.
Thankfully, not another penalty
Not
kick.
a penalty kick. Definitely not a penalty kick. A free kick. This one 20 to 25 yards out. Much closer. Much better opportunity here for Gwinnett. It's going to be, looks like that is Muhene standing over the ball. 4-person wall guarding the near post for keeper Dean Knopfsinger. Muhene hits it, and it's going to dribble right on the ground, right around the wall, over right into the grasp of waiting Dean Knopfsinger. His punt coming up the other way. Maple Leafs going 2-on-3. Huerta tracks it down on the near sideline. He's got Stoltzfus with him. In defense, there's White as well as Redvani.
Looks like Huerta's groin is okay, knock on wood, but he is showing the acceleration exactly that he has, and such a quick player with very strong legs.
Francois Valliere to take the throw in as Huerta's pass in the middle was cleared out. His throw up the line finds Gurr. He flicks it forward looking for others. Ends up on the foot of Morty, who flicks it up to Gomes. Gomes looks to switch the field with Yetterstrom. He's got Morty on his right and Connor on his left. Goes to Connor on the outside. 8.5 left here in the first half as Connor takes the end line. Whips it in, finds Morty. He settles it. It's a beautiful touch. His shot takes a deflection. Looks like Was that Bontrager got in the way there?
Wow.
Reed, it looks like.
Yeah.
Reed with a key deflection as he goes over the crossbar. Going to be a corner kick for the Grizzlies. Checking in. They're going to make him wait, it looks like.
And Goshen is very pleased to be conceding a corner rather than giving up another goal with just a great shot there. And
checking in now. They're actually going to bring him in on the corner kick. It's number 7, Martin Toribio. Checking out number 18. That is Callum Morty.
And Toribio originally was supposed to start in this match.
That corner kick whipped in and comes towards the far post. Able to get something on it was Jetterstrom, however, ends up far wide of the post. It's going to be a goal kick for Nafziger and the Leafs. 7.5 left here. 1-0, Georgia Gwinnett ahead here on a penalty kick earlier here in the first half.
And momentum can shift so quickly if Goshen can find the back of the net before this half ends. And going into the halftime tied at 1, I'm sure Coach Patrick would be very pleased with that.
Ball finds the head of Francois Valier, flicks it up the near sideline, dribbles all the way down towards the corner, but then out of bounds. Throw in for Gurr and the Grizzlies. Gurr comes up line looking for De Piazza. Picked off by Reed, gets to the middle to Venderly, up to Stoltzfus. Stoltzfus pass intercepted by Gurr. He's just going to clear it up the middle of the field towards his own player. Trying to track it down is Connor, however, Chupp able to head it back to Nafziger in time. Nafziger sets the ball down and is going to dribble it out a little bit. Take a little time out here as we're under 6.5 left. Ball on the far sideline midfield. It's Connor with it. He touches it back around. That's Radvanyi. Stoltzfus tries to pick it up, however, his touch too big. Goes over the far sideline for a Grizzly throw-in. Ball thrown into Connor. He drops it all the way back to, looks like that's Redgrave. In pursuit, Nussbaum. Redgrave's left-footed clear up the middle. Chupp able to win that one. And ends up with the foot of Bontrager. Bontrager finds Garcia, who touches it middle to Huerta, who touches it over to Reed. He looks up line for Stoltzfus, picked off by Radvanyi. Gets it up to Connor, who touches it around Garcia, and now slows down a little bit as he touches towards the middle, approaching the goal. He's going to take a rip from 30 yards out. He sails over the crossbar for a Goshen College goal kick.
John Connor there, you can see it was pretty easy for him to get by James Garcia on the first 2 times that he had the ball on the left wing. But this time he elected to get it onto his right foot, move it toward the middle of the field as it looked like Chupp was going to be able to close a little bit better. So he elected to get the shot in the middle, especially with not many players in the middle for his help.
Connor, one of 11 sophomores on the team, only one senior. That's number 13, Martin Lugo, who's been playing, or who started out as the outside midfielder on the left side. But a young team for a very good Georgia Gwinnett team.
That's absolutely right, as we're seeing good play from them so far. Possession just being kept from Goshen in the back, and everyone so far, see how quickly they move it from one field to the next.
Coming up the far sideline, that is number 7, just checking it out to Rubio. Loses it in the middle. Reed tries to clear it up. Muhene tracks it down, plays it all the way back to his center backs as White has it at the half-field line. He touches middle for Gomes. He's going to play a little 1-2 with Toribio. Gets back in the middle. Francois Valier able to track back to the middle to clear that one up. Connor with it on the far sideline. Takes a few juggles there, then puts it right back into the box. Looking for De Piazza. His settle is cleared by Francois Valier. Tracking it down. Ashelman unable to do so. It's going to go out of bounds down in the corner. Just under 4 minutes left here. Once again, Georgia Gwinnett. Grizzlies leading Goshen College Maple Leafs 1-0. Ball down, played into the corner to Gurr. He's going to whip one into the box. No one there but Chupp for the Maple Leafs. Once again, clearing it. Settled down by Jetterstrom. He's going to take a left-footed shot. He's going to take a deflection, hit the crossbar, and go over. It was very, very lucky break there for the Maple Leafs. Awkward deflection for Nafziger. Still able, I think, maybe get a little bit on it, as they're going to say it's going to be a corner kick here. 3 minutes, 15 seconds left here in the first half. as Gurr jogs over to the far corner on the right side. You take the corner kick. Once again, Gwinnett attacking left to right. Goshen attacking right to left. Gurr whips this one low driven into the box. Knopfsinger comes out towards the near post and scoops it up before anyone can get to it. He clears it up towards the far corner. Immediately trying to track it down is Huerta. Redvani there in defense. Huerta's going to win this one out. Take a touch over two players. Settle it down with the left foot. Puts it towards the far post. Beautiful save from Sharp there to keep his Georgia Gwinnett shutout going there. Wow, was that some great offense from Huerta. Touches it around one player, up over a second player, settles it down, cuts it back. Sharp with a beautiful save. Man.
If that had this place would have...
Coach Patrick is in awe. He's standing there like there's nothing more he can ask from Huerta there. That was exactly what he wanted, and still Sharp comes up big for Gwinnett.
And they do still win themselves a corner. It'll be Venderly on the far side looking to send one in.
2 minutes here. Venderly whips this one in towards the penalty spot, goes over 1-2. Cleared out by Redvani over the end line. Another corner kick for the Leafs.
Back-to-back corners, their first two of the first half. And going back to that play, that almost scoring... we'll get back to it after this corner.
Venderly, same thing. And this one's going to come a little bit more far post. Looks like it's over the wrong side of the crossbar there. It's going to be a goal kick for Gwinnett. Checking in now, number 23 for Gwinnett. That's Brandon Dean. He's a sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Looks like he's coming off, going to be number 8. That is Pierre Muhene.
And, going back to that almost a scoring play there, and two players basically was Huerta being double-teamed as he received that ball just behind his attacking third on his own half and made a beautiful couple of moves, but goalkeeper Sharp came in. And he is looking sharp so far tonight. I'm sure that has been used quite a lot so far, but it holds true.
So.
It's true.
60 seconds left here in the first half. Gwinnett with it in their offensive half. Ball comes into Gomes in the box. He tries to take a touch to the middle. Ends up at the foot of Toribio. He tries to cross the middle. No one there. Knopfsinger's going to track this down before it goes over the outside part of this box. .30 seconds left. Knopfsinger more than willing to just keep this ball at his foot here. Let the clock run out as he slowly touches it forward. He's going to play it now. 25 seconds. Finds Huerta on the far sideline. Takes a touch and tries to take the end line. Tries to cut back in. Does so. He gets around 1, gets around 2. It's going to be picked off by Ytterstrom. They're going to give Goshen a free kick with 15 seconds left on the clock. He's going to stop the clock with 11 on it, so therefore the Maple Leafs will be able to get this free kick off. Venderly stands over the ball now. Looks like it's going to be roughly 25 yards angled out towards the far light post there. Cross comes in, clock restarts. This is going to be cleared out immediately. Come the other way, O'Connor. He's just going to clear it forward. 5. Venderly tracks it down all the way back to Knopfsinger, and that's going to do it for the first half. Goshen trails Georgia Gwinnett 1-0 on a penalty kick in the 16th minute from defender Andrew White, converted on it. And that's the only goal action. No live action goals yet here. We're going to take a quick break. We've got 15 minutes of halftime before we return for second half action. We'll be back in a little bit with some stats and analysis. My name's Andrew Snyder, alongside Brad Stoltzfus. Keep it locked right here. Your home for Goshen College Athletics, 91.1 The Globe.
Wildfires burn millions of acres across the country each year. And each year, wildland firefighters battle to contain them, but they can't do it alone. For some communities, it's not a question of if wildfires strike, but when. Get fire adapted. Learn what you can do now to reduce wildfire damage later at fireadapted.org. A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council. Learn more at fireadapted.org.
Why would you listen to another morning show where all you hear is this? When you could be starting your morning off like this. Start your day off with a healthy dose of music with the Breakfast Blend here on 91.1 The Globe. We'll take you back to the good old days with our college radio cut, remind you that records are still cool with our Deep Groove vinyl feature, and vibe out to our Toast and Jam session. That's every weekday morning from 6 to 9 here on 91.1 The Globe.
Hey, Billy, want to go to the state fair?
Yeah!
Well, you can't.
Huh?
Well, you see, Billy, when you throw away money on wasted electricity, you throw away everything you could have done with it. But now your parents are becoming energy efficient. They could save hundreds of dollars a year and take you to the fair next year.
I want to go now.
I know you do. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
Are you ready for something new and like up-tempo music? I'm Larry Roberts.
And I'm Jim Fisher. We're the Bluegrass guys here at the Globe and hosts of Down Home.
With over 50 years of folk and bluegrass experience, we still have a long, long way to go.
We're going to bring you the best in bluegrass, both contemporary and classic, from artists like Alison Krauss and Union Station.
You're the lucky one, so I've been told. As free as a wind blowing down the road. Loved by many, hated by none. I'd say you were lucky 'cause
Balsam Range.
Everyone knew it was bound to happen one day. Another breakthrough with a twinkle of an eye. Scholars
And some newgrass from the Steep Canyon Range.
And no won't be long till the morning. And I can feel it coming.
Join us every Monday evening from 7 to 9 p.m. for Down Home on your station for culturally progressive music, 91.1 The Globe.
Call between midnight and the dawn.
Welcome back to 91.1 The Globe as we are at halftime of this evening's Goshen College men's soccer action as they take on Georgia Gwinnett University as the second game of the Goshen College Classic here. First games were last night and the second game here tonight. Georgia Gwinnett holding a 1-0 advantage over the Maple Leafs on a penalty kick from Andrew White as he converted that in the 16th minute. Foul in the box from James Garcia. Little bit questionable. Not quite sure what he was thinking as he came in from behind. But nonetheless, the penalty was awarded and converted.
Yeah, and it's a little upsetting to see something like that, but it is what it is, and there's no turning back now. And I think Coach Patrick should still be satisfied with how this team is playing against a 13th ranked team in the nation, and it's much improved over what they how they performed last night against Baker in the first half, but they held their own in the second half, I thought.
Yeah, definitely a 1-0 deficit. Not a big worry for them. They're out on the field conversing right now. Teams getting their drinks. We're at 11 and a half minutes left until the start of the second half. Brad, what kind of statistics you got for us here this evening?
Well, I think the main thing to point out so far is not only the shots that Georgia Gwinnett have so far, but the shots on goal. They have 5 shots in the game, with 4 of them being on net, which is very nice if you're them to see, because, I mean, they have a lot more chances, and they're getting quality shots, not just regular shots. So basically they're putting it on net and really making Knopfsinger have to work for his win tonight, if that is the case.
Yeah, a lot. Like you said, a lot of offensive opportunities for Gwinnett. As you mentioned, corners, plenty of free kicks, and as we mentioned before, at least half, I believe, of their goals so far this season have come off of set pieces of some sort, as they have a lot of height in their back line with Matt Redgrave and Andrew White. And so haven't seen much from either of those players, haven't really done anything significant offensively or defensively yet. Do you think that's something that Georgia Gwinnett is expecting from those guys?
I think they'll take another goal as it comes, and the biggest thing so far is the possession that they're keeping the ball generally away from Goshen, who, I know, of course we don't have the exact, but I'd say somewhere around a 57-43 type of deal if we're really going by possession percentages. But Jamie Reed having himself a good game in the middle and also on the defensive side, as he prevented a potential goal-scoring chance earlier in this match.
There was that, and then there's also the one that took a deflection, hit off the crossbar. So plenty of offensive opportunities for Gwinnett here this evening. Looking at the Maple Leafs, what did you like that you saw from them here in the first half?
Well, I like the play so far of Isak Huerta. He came on right about the 20th minute of this match, and and really brought a lot of energy. It was Brody Knopfsinger, who he replaced, who had himself a good first 20 minutes of this match. So those are two high-intensity players, guys that will sprint for every ball and make the most of their possessions when they have it.
Yeah, one player that stood out for me, at least on the defensive half, is he's been a player that's really stood out for the Maple Leafs so far this season, but especially tonight, I felt like I've been saying his name more and more, and that's Jaden Chupp, the junior out of Elkhart, Indiana, now a third year here at Goshen College. And so just his play, he's such a strong defensive, like a rock, a wall back there in the center for the Maple Leafs. Making his 34th career start in his junior season. He has only not started in 2 of those matches, and he is the anchor of this back four so far for Goshen, and he's had to play with a bunch of different people, and they're also trying to solidify that last spot. It was Lowen a little bit. We're seeing Bontrager. We saw Romero a little bit early in the first part of the season. So Chupp really the anchor in the back, and he's having himself a good game. Yeah, as you mentioned, a lot of players rotating through that back line, and a lot of that's coming from some ineligibilities due with NAIA regulations and things that we weren't necessarily aware of, things we can't control with some of the transfers, injuries, concussion ordeals that we just can't argue with, because when it gets down to it, this is just a game. This is just collegiate soccer. These players aren't necessarily expecting to go anywhere after their 4 years here at Goshen, and so they've got to take their lives over their soccer careers. And so one of those, like you mentioned, Romero saw a lot of time in that back line, and he's out for at least for the time being, as he suffered a concussion earlier this week. And so doesn't look very good at his third concussion. So hearing from some of the other players, he is out indefinitely for this rest of this season, and potentially and unfortunately for the rest of his career. Yeah, I did talk to him, and he said that as for right now, he's not officially out for the rest of his career. That's something that at a later time, it wasn't a very serious concussion, but it was a concussion nonetheless, and so it must be taken seriously. Yep. And so they're going to continue evaluating him throughout the next days, weeks, months as the season progresses. Chances that he'll come back this season are very, very slim. But in terms of him as a future Maple Leaf for future years, still a possibility. When I mentioned it, talked to him about it, he said he wasn't quite sure what he wanted right now. He's still trying to figure out how to get over being concussed, as he's still suffering a few of the side effects. And so one of the players, coming out of Goshen, Indiana, and he's had himself 2 really good games in the first couple of games of the season. So we're looking for just better play, I think a little bit more possession if I were the coach for Goshen. We've got 6.5 minutes left here in the half. We're going to take another break here, 2-minute break. We'll be back talking a little bit more about what to expect here from the second half from both of these teams here. Once again, my name is Andrew Snyder alongside Brad Stoltzfus, and we'll be back in a little bit more right here, your home for culture, or for your Goshen College Sports Authority, 91.1 The Globe.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but as you grew up, things changed. Teaching just didn't seem like the best option anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Interesting and innovative things are happening in teaching today, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Tune into The Globe every Thursday from 11 to midnight for the Artist Spotlight, a show dedicated to telling the real stories of the musicians that inspire us today. You can learn of their upbringings, their hobbies, as well as side stories of their travels as a musician, and much more. You also get to enjoy many of the artists' favorite tracks over their careers, and the artists come from far and wide. So join us as we engage in a wonderful conversation in the Artist Spotlight, right here on 91.1 The Globe.
Hey, there's my son.
Hey, Dad.
What's wrong with your voice?
There is nothing wrong with my voice.
Well, it's just sort of.
Hello, Dad.
Susan? Guys, I think it's about time to get in the car and maybe see some green things.
What are these green things you speak of?
This weekend, unplug. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Here on 91.1 The Globe is the only place that you can hear the newest releases from artists like Rhett Miller. Hear the newest singles from your favorite bands in the Americana scene like the Deslons.
I guess that I don't care.
Or Yonder Mountain String Band. That's only on your home for culturally progressive music, 91.1 The Globe.
Welcome back to your Goshen College Sports Authority, 91.1 The Globe. My name is Andrew Snyder, alongside Brad Stoltzfus. We've got just under 4 minutes left until official kickoff of the second half here. Georgia Gwinnett leads Goshen College by a score of 1-0. As we look out onto the field, or as we anticipate looking out on the field for the second half, I guess is more what I meant to say there. What do you look to see from Goshen? They had some spurts there at the end, some real hopes, chances on goal. How do you think they're going to try to maintain that as they move into the second half here?
Yeah, so they're definitely looking to tie it up, I would say, pretty early. I think if they want to get something going and get some more intriguing soccer, they're going to want to score pretty early in this first half, and that's not to say that they need to score earlier in the first half, but it'll be good if they can put one into the net. So they're going to need to, I would say, pass the ball better, keep possession of the ball a little bit better, and hopefully something can fall through and they can put one in the back of the net.
Yeah, I think that's one thing Coach Patrick really wanted for his team to notice this weekend, both in playing Baker and now Georgia Gwinnett, is a little bit of the speed of play and then just how consistent they are at completing one-touch little passes and knowing where the next pass should be. And I think that's something Goshen really could be really good at by the end of the season is their possession. And so that's definitely one thing they're going to need to step up. And then speed of play. These are just high-quality teams are going to play at a faster pace. Yeah. And that's what Patrick wants for his team. And so I think that'll be something he's going to push here in the second half as well. 2.5 minutes left here on the clock. The sun has set behind us. We are illuminated solely by the lights, the 4 light poles around the soccer field here, the Goshen College Soccer Complex. Some other things to point out, they're not entirely new yet, as it's been a week and a half, I guess, now, but on the far sideline, those new, I don't know what you call them, field boards, boards lining the field with different sorts of advertisements, all Goshen College related. We've got the Globe logo, GoLeafs.net, our Twitter handle at GC Maple Leafs, and much more. Really looks very nice, very professional look here from the Goshen College athletic facility. Also, recently installed World Cup goals at both ends of the field with the net held back behind. Always fun to watch goals being scored on those nets.
Yeah, it just looks nicer. Leaves the goal more open and also helps some of the balls that go into the side of the net not to roll past any further. It looks beautiful and absolutely more professional.
Looking a little bit further down the road, Maple Leafs are going to be back in action as they return, or they now hit the road for 4 straight contests. They head up to Chicago, St. Xavier University to be exact. That game's set to kick off at 8 p.m. on the 9th of September. I believe we're going to have coverage of that game. If everything works out the way we hope it to, we'll have coverage of that game here on 91.1 The Globe.
And they'll also be moving forward 2 more games after that, then on the road, and then they'll have their first conference match against Marion. That'll be also on the road at 7 o'clock. That's on September 26th. And their next home game after tonight is not until the end of the month, September 30th, when they take on Spring Arbor at 6 o'clock.
Big contest of a very good Crossroads League conference in terms of men's soccer. Indiana Wesleyan in the top 10 in the nation. And then other teams, Spring Arbor, a very high-quality program, Mount Vernon Nazarene, really stepping up their level of competition as well as others. However, the game I think I'm looking forward to the most every year really is that Bethel contest. Yeah. That game takes place on the 21st of October as Goshen travels to Bethel this year. That game's set to kick off at 7 p.m. I can almost guarantee we will have coverage of that game here as it is one of the key matchups of the season for the Maple Leafs.
And also the home game against Grace that they have a week prior to that on the 14th. That game starts at 8 o'clock, and it looks like we're ready to get underway here in the second half.
45 minutes on the clock. Georgia Gwinnett to kick off. And we're back into play. Yetterstrom with the ball, placed it over to the far sideline. That's going to be Gurr. He touches it up looking for Lugo. He drops it all the way back to, I believe that is Toribio. Ball comes middle to Muhene. Touches near sideline for Connor. Garcia poking that one out of play. Huerta getting the start for the Maple Leafs here the second half up top instead of, I believe, Knopfsinger. Yes, that's correct. Chupp making another defensive stand there for the Leafs. Gets it to the middle to Stolzfus. Touches it over to, that is Nussbaum. Coming forward, he tries to slot through. He finds Huerta just out of his reach, and Sharp's going to come out and slide, scoop that one up. Another offensive opportunity for Huerta. He's going to get one of these days.
One of these times. It is soon on the way, I'm sure.
Purinen has it, plays it up the near sideline for Gomes. He touches it middle to Connor. Poked away by Venderly. However, right to the foot of Gomes. He dribbling it forward, picked off by Nussbaum. He gets it middle to Stolzfus. He swings it along the midfield line looking for Venderly. Venderly comes forward. He's got Yetterstrom on his back. Redgrave in front of him. He gets it around him. Tries to get it slide. Ball ends up bouncing back to Sharp in his own box. Scoops it up and walks forward. He's going to roll this one out. Looks like he finds Toribio. Toribio finds Gurr. Just maintaining possession here for the Grizzlies. A minute and a half gone here in the second half. Ball swings to the near sideline for Redvani. He takes a touch. They're going to say handball. Ball bounced awkwardly off of his chest and off of his forearm. Therefore, a free kick for the Maple Leafs. Looks like it's going to be Reed to take it. Ball gets played up force to Stolzfus. He turns to the middle. He's got Muhene on his back. He keeps going across. Poked away. Beautiful defensive play there from the only senior on this Gwinnett team. That is Lugo. Ball ends up back in the back line for Redgrave. He's going to clear it up. Gets it up to, that is Gurr, working on the far sideline. Touched away by Francois Revalier over the far sideline.
And again, we see Revalier in his left back position as he started the first 3 games of the season in the right back spot. As well, we see Ashelman in the middle with Nussbaum.
Ball served to the middle. Chupp gets ahead on it, trying to find Nussbaum. Just out of his reach. Connor has it now on the near sideline. He turns towards the middle. Nothing there, drops back to Purinen. Touches around Nussbaum and plays it over to Muhene. He's going to swing it far corner. Looking for, that is Gurr. Flicked over by Ashelman, out of play for a throw-in.
John Connor for the Grizzlies having himself a pretty nice day. We saw him get past his defender about 3 times in the last half. Just very quick player and a very good guy to keep possession. He can dribble the ball very well, and he keeps the ball close to his feet.
Nussbaum cuts the ball around Yetterstrom. He drags his leg behind and catches Nussbaum. That's going to be a foul. Free kick for the Leafs. We've got 3.5 minutes gone by here in the second half. Goshen trails 1-0. Goal in the 16th minute of the first half from Andrew White for the Grizzlies. Ball comes back into play from Francois Revalier. Comes over near sideline for Huerta. Makes a move and turns around. Thinks about going corner. He's got a one-on-one opportunity here. Just kind of hesitates, and he's finally going to take the end line. Gets it around one, however, Andrew White steps in his way. That ball is going to dribble over the end line for a goal kick. Ball on the far sideline. It's Redgrave. He clears it up line looking for his forward. That is Gomes. Unable to find him. Ends up in Maple Leaf possession. Francois Revalier now tries to turn up the line. However, too far outside. Dribbles out of bounds. Coming the other way now. It's Muhene in the middle. Plays it up looking for Purinen. He touches it over to Gomes. He plays a little give and go looking for something with Gurr. That's going to be picked off by the Leafs and cleared all the way back to Sharp. Sharp with it now as we hit the 40-minute mark left here in the game. Ball in the middle, tries to slot through to Gomes, does so successfully. He turns. He's got Nussbaum on his back. He's going to swing it back to, that's Yederstrom. He tries to take a touch out wide. Double teamed there from Ashelman and Stoltzfus. Ashelman with it now on the far sideline.
Wow.
That's going to be a slide tackle from behind from Yederstrom. He does not like the call, as head official called a foul. I would have to say I would give that a foul. Not a card or anything, but definitely a slide from behind, deserving of a free kick.
And he's claiming he got all ball, which would make sense if, the ball did go out of play, but looks like they take a quick free kick.
Ball comes into the box. Sharp getting it. That is Nussbaum there as well. Looks like they're going to call a foul here as the Sharp is still down on the ground. Nussbaum looked like he undercut him maybe a little bit as he was going up for that ball. Well, Sharp kind of reached over Nussbaum to grab that. And so Sharp slow to get up, taking his time. That's all right. Clock continues ticking. We're at the 6-minute mark here in the second half. Ball played off the ground. With it now is White coming forward. He swings it up the near side, looking for Gomes in the middle. He chests it down, trying to find Purinen. Ends up at the foot of Connor. He's going to come backwards to keep possession. Gets it over to Muhene. He finds upline to Purinen. He turns, guarded by Chupp. Chupp's going to stick with him here. Still gets it around Chupp. Chupp's going to take him down. They're going to say too much tugging on the jersey there. Free kick down towards the corner. Can almost treat it like a corner, but not quite.
Yeah, this will be a good chance nonetheless for the Grizzlies as they try getting something in just on the left side in front of the 18. And this is where we had mentioned that they are a very good team. When they get their big players into the box, this may be one of the best chances of the day for the Grizzlies.
Gurr's going to swing this one in, finds Redgrave, one of the players we talked about. He gets his head on it, solid contact, but it sails over the crossbar, almost like he was a little bit too wide open there.
I'd say I agree with that. They had a set play running for him, it seemed, and he got himself free, but just could not execute on the header. Granted, it was a little further out than usual.
Just under 10 minutes into the second half here, Goshen trails Georgia Gwinnett 1-0. Nofsinger with the goal kick here. Comes over half line. Coming forward to win it is Redgrave. However, right to the foot of Venderly. He tries playing it forward for Huerta, however, ends up with Connor coming down the near sideline.
This is a matchup we've seen twice already today. Let's see what happens.
Connor fakes going towards the middle, thinks end line, then touches it middle to Muhene. He touches it over toward Lugo. He's going to turn and have a left-footed rip. That's blocked down by, once again, Jaden Chupp making another defensive stop. However, the Grizzlies maintain possession now. Far sideline. Wow. Gurr with an amazing one-touch of volley. Wow. Whips it right across the middle of the box. However, just outside of the reach of outstretched legs. If I believe that was Purinen trying to get something on that. But what a volley.
It was a good opportunity and a really good play, though it seemed as though his teammates may not have seen him.
No one expected that one.
Anticipating him to do that. That's why there wasn't as good of a chance as we may have expected from something like that.
Ball cleared up the middle. Ball stays in the air, battling for it. Ends up at the foot of Connor on the near sideline around half field. Drops it off for Muhene, back to Connor, all the way back to Redvanier. Plays it up the line. That's too far out of bounds. Throwing for the Maple Leafs.
Maple Leafs having a better defensive half so far, I'd say already in the first about 9 minutes of the game. And that's something so far that we talked about at halftime, that they need to step up, have better possessions and better defense. And so far that is the case.
Ball played up the near sideline, now off the foot of Nofsinger. Huerta with it now in the corner. He whips one into the box. That's going to clear off the foot of White and out of bounds. A corner kick for the Leafs here. It's going to be Venderly jogging over to take it. It's their first opportunity here in the second half, is it not?
Yep, first corner of the half for either team. And it will be taken by Venderly on the near side on our right.
Readily approaches and hits it towards the edge of the box, right to Reed. Reed's going to play it back to Venderly. Takes a touch. He's going to whip this one. Takes a deflection. That's off of, looks like that is Gomes striking back. Going to be another corner kick for the Leafs. Not quite the set play they were hoping, or the result they were looking for that set play.
Yeah, they had Reed coming in from about 40 yards out, who was right in front of midfield, making a run toward the corner, and then I guess they were he elected to get something in a little bit closer, but Venderly another chance to make something happen here for Goshen.
Second one comes towards the top of the box for Nussbaum. He's going to take a touch and have a hit. This one sails, hits the crossbar, rattles absolutely everything. Everything was shaken there. Whoa. What a rip.
Wow.
They're going to say goal kick as a second chance opportunity sails wide. Boy, did that shake, rattle the woodwork there.
That is as close as Goshen's come to a goal all season, as a beautiful play set up. And then with the 22nd shot of the year, that one coming on net from Nussbaum, he is probably thinking to himself, can I just get this first goal already? He's had a lot of good chances so far through the first couple of games of this season.
Checking in for the Grizzlies, number 19, Callum Morty. Checking out number 22, that is Yetterstrom. Ball in the possession along the back line for, that would be Gwinnett. Sharp with it now. He's going to try to play it up the line. Mishits it a little bit. That pops up really high. Chasing it down is Muhene, gets it over to Gurr. He's guarded by Ashelman. However, able to get around him, around Venderly as well in the middle. Crosses half field, swings it towards the near side. Garcia in pursuit of Connor. Once again, Connor's looking to get around him. Gets around one, gets around two. Touches it middle for Gurr. He's going to flick it through. No one able to get there except for Knopfsinger for the Leafs.
Looks like Purinen was looking to make a run there, but that pass, not only was it a little too far and out of his reach, but he may have been offside had that ball actually gotten through to him.
Connor gets around Garcia once again. This time, Chupp coming in pursuit, gets into the box. Chupp takes a shoulder to. They're going to say too much shoulder there from Connor. It's going to be a free kick for the Leafs in their own defense box. We're looking at 32 and a half minutes left here in the contest. Goshen trails 1-0. Hopefully they can get at least one, maybe for some extra time. Or get the win. Never going to complain there.
I just got to wonder who is going to be the one that has that eye for the net, that really wants to get that one in, because if the heart is there, then we can see a great play from Goshen, as Huerta might be the one that could tally up the first goal.
Huerta working with Stoltzfus. Stoltzfus gets to the end line, tries to play one in. Jersey was tugged, however, he mishits the actual cross. They're going to say going to be a goal kick. Unfortunate play there for Stoltzfus.
GC in possession very well so far in this second half, as they have yet to allow a shot on net for Georgia Gwinnett. Just a shot in general. The defense has been up to standard so far, and this is exactly what Coach Patrick wants to see out of his club.
Looks like we have a timeout as the ref is, Sharp, the keeper for Gwinnett, looking to be stretched out. Not sure if he's cramping or from the hit he took earlier from Nussbaum, but we'll keep you updated if we learn any information there.
So, of course, both teams getting the water in, trying to rest a little bit, and I'm sure they need it. This is a good game we're seeing so far out of both teams. Of course, Georgia Gwinnett coming in with a 3-1-1 record after losing last night to Holy Cross. They come in with basically trying to say that we're not going to take this game, we're not going to take this loss, we want to take this game, and they are performing at a very high standard, but so is Goshen, sticking right with them.
31 minutes, 44 seconds on the stopped clock. Sharp is back up on his feet, has been stretched out, he's ready to go. He is going to have a goal kick as we get back underway. Teams all watered up as they head back onto the field. Once again, 31 minutes, 44 seconds left action here in the second half. And barring any goal from the Maple Leafs, the game will end after that. If the game ends up tied, the format for the contest here is going to be two 10-minute overtimes, golden goal. So if you score, game is over, as we saw in the first game this evening. Baker tallying their third goal of the game to win 3-2 over Holy Cross.
And it was Didic who scored. He was a pest last night for Goshen, a very good defender, and it was nice to get a chance to see him play at such a high caliber.
Ball is along the back line for the Leafs. Knopfsinger with it. He clears it up the near line looking for Huerta. Huerta's able to settle it down and turn around Redvani. However, he pokes it away. Ball gets played up the middle line. Chupp has it along the back line, drops it back to Knopfsinger. Just over 30 minutes of play left here in the second half. Goshen continues to trail 1-0 to Georgia Gwinnett on a penalty kick in the 16th minute. That came off the foot of, I believe that was Andrew White, who finished off the penalty kick. Ball gets cleared by Sharp, up looking for Gomes. He chests it down to Connor on the near sideline, guarded by Garcia. Touches it middle, back to Gomes. He swings it over far side. Puranen all the way over, looking for Lugo into the box. Francois Revalier there in defense. Lugo tries to cross one in the middle. They're going to say take a deflection, and it's going to be a corner kick for Georgia Gwinnett.
It'll be their fifth of the night, and we saw that they had 4 in the first half, 2 of them coming relatively low line drives toward the near post, while the other 2 were high lobs that they intended for a back post header for Redgrave, who scored 2 headers, as you mentioned, in a game earlier this season, and we'll see what they have in store here.
Gurr drives this one towards the penalty spot. Redgrave gets his head on it, flicks it on through the box for White. His touch is out of the box, finds Puranen. He heels it back into Gomes. He touches it into Connor, who drops it back to White. A lot of beautiful possession in the offensive half here for Gwinnett. White has it now 30 yards out. He crosses one in left-footed, looking for Lugo. Chupp is there in defense, clears it out. Francois Revalier chases it down, gets it up to Stoltzfus. Stoltzfus plays it across the middle for, that is Venderly, who swings it far side, looking for Ashelman. Unable to find him, goes out of bounds. Ball comes back into play off for Gwinnett. It's Burr, drops it back to Redgrave. Redgrave brings it this way to White. White dribbles forward and passes it across half field, looking for Connor. Tries to take a touch around Huerta. Huerta gets in his way and then keeps going. Gets around him. Tries to get around White as well. Unable to do so. White ends up going forward. He drops it back now all the way to Sharp. Redgrave picks that one off and clears it out of the way because Stoltzfus was in pursuit. Ends up at the foot of, that is, Nussbaum. He's going to take a left-footed rip. Dribbles across the middle of the box and out the near side of the post. Therefore, goal kick for Sharp and Gwinnett. 28 and a half minutes left here in the second half. Once again, Georgia Gwinnett leads Goshen College 1-0 in the last game of the Goshen College Classic. Ball back in play on the far side now. Redgrave with it coming up the far sideline. Touches it up to Gurr. Gurr goes back to Redgrave. Stoltzfus applying light pressure. Huerta now coming forward as well. Ball gets played towards the middle to Redvani. He touches it back to Redgrave. Redgrave back to Sharp. Nussbaum in pursuit. He clears it towards the middle. Venderly gets ahead on that one. However, Stoltzfus able to track it down in the end. Gets it over to Reed. Reed looking up the near sideline for Isaac Huerta. Huerta has it and drops it back to Garcia. Garcia looks middle and goes back up line to Huerta. He's going to let it go through his legs and turn. Beautiful move around Redvani. Gets around White as well. Takes a touch to the middle, finds Nussbaum. He takes a touch. He's going to have a rip. This one sails high as well. Another goal kick for Sharp, but another 23rd shot for Nate Nussbaum here this season. Man, oh man, are these great opportunities.
And second from him on net in this second half. He has 3 of the 4 shots that have come in the second half for Goshen. And a lot of great chances for Goshen already here in the second half, with that one being a little bit there for Nussbaum.
Ball's back in play, and Goshen Leaf continues their offensive onslaught here as they continue their high pressure. Ball's in the middle. Muheni has it for Grizzlies. He looks to swing it far corner, looking for Gurr making a run down that line. Ashelman pursue another beautiful touch from Gurr as he first touch right to the ground. Hits off of him. They're going to say it went out of bounds over the end line. Looks like we do have a call, however, not sure what it's going to be. Looks like official call is corner kick, I believe.
Well, seeing as though all the Goshen players are yelling at the line judge, my guess, yes, it would be a corner kick. A little unfortunate there for some of the players, but they'll have to live through that.
Some confusion on the field. Looks like we're going to have a stopped clock as the main official is going to head over and talk to his sideline assistant on the far side. 26 minutes, 15 seconds left. Georgia Gwinnett up 1-0 off of a penalty kick converted by Andrew White for the Grizzlies. Conversation between the refs continues on the far sideline. Right now, players are set up as if a corner kick is coming up for the Grizzlies. Looks like that is going to be the call. The head referee still having conversations with Gurr on the far sideline. That is Jack Gurr, the sophomore out of Newcastle, England. In my mind, one of the better players on this Gwinnett roster. He's had some beautiful touches on that, playing outside back, but one touch settles, one touch crosses, volleys. He's a high-quality player.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think all these players are performing at a high level tonight and really showing why they're the 13th ranked team in the nation.
Cross comes in low on the ground. Stoltzfus able to get a toe on that one and come the other way now. Ashelman and Stoltzfus, Nussbaum and Huerta up top already waiting. Stoltzfus has it across half field on the far side. Gets around one. He's tripped up from behind. That's almost an automatic yellow card. His clock has been stopped as the head ref jogs over there. Looks like that's going to be Gomes. He continues to jog away from the head referee. That's what you do when you know you're getting a card, but oh well. And there is the official yellow for Gomes. That comes at the 25:59 mark here in the second half. Going to be a free kick, 45 yards out, so going to be a cross here most likely. We've got 6 Maple Leafs up in the box, a 7th walking forward right now in Ashelman. Like I said, just under 26 minutes, Goshen trails 1-0, looking to tie things up here against Georgia Gwinnett. Standing over the ball, that is going to be Reed. Whips one in, that's going to be headed out. Nussbaum chests it down, tries to get a rip on it, hits it towards the far post. Sharp able to settle that down with his foot and calm things down. He picks it up now. Ball gets thrown over to the far sideline to Gurr and Redgrave playing a little back and forth there. We've got a stoppage. For some reason, the head official was not ready yet, so ball goes back to Sharp, and we resume play once again.
Brody Knopfsinger just told by Coach Patrick to start warming his legs up on the sideline. We're not quite sure yet who he will be coming in for, but when he does come in, if he does come in,
fresh legs.
We'll let you know that, and yes, of course, fresh legs for Goshen.
Lugo with it now on the near sideline. He's got Connor to work with. Touches off to him. He's going to dribble towards the middle, parallel to the 18. He takes a rip. And guess who's there? Once again, Chupp with the defensive stand. Plays it forward for Stoltzfus. He gets knocked to the ground by Redgrave. They're going to call a foul, or looks like they're going to say foul or throw-in. Not quite sure.
Yeah, it will be a throw-in.
I don't know. I think it might be a foul.
Yep. Looks like
Ashelman isn't really sure either. He just kind of leaves the ball there and jogs forward. That's what I would do if I were on the field right now. I'm not taking the kick if it is a kick, so I'm just gonna leave. 24 and a half left here in the second half of this evening's contest. Goshen taking on Georgia Gwinnett. Georgia Gwinnett out of Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Of course, all these matches playing as a part of the Goshen College Classic. We saw a match earlier between Holy Cross and Baker came up on top 3-2 in overtime.
Reed drives this ball into the box, settling it down to Stoltzfus. He's going to be taken down. That's a penalty for the Maple Leafs in the box. Redgrave takes down Stoltzfus. That means Goshen has a chance to tie it up. 24 minutes, 7 seconds left on the clock here. Clock has been stopped. Looks like no one has stepped up to say they're going to take this penalty kick. But one thing to note is that Sharp is a very lengthy goalie here. If you had to estimate his height right now, I don't think we have official
6'6".
height. 6'6"? I don't know. I would agree with that. Maybe even more. I don't know. He is quite tall. Maybe a foot and a half between his head and the crossbar. Looks like it's going to be Venderly to take the kick. Silence in the stands here. Venderly approaches, hits this one. That is going to be saved. Saved by Sharp as Venderly tried to go to his left. The rebound then going for it, Reed. It's going to be tripped up. They're going to say he actually fouled. So it's going to be a free kick in the box for Gwinnett. Clock has been stopped. Card's going to be given to, looks like it's going to be given to Redgrave. Talking too much about that. He was the one who committed the foul that earned that penalty kick for the Leafs and much more. That's his second hard foul. He had a rather hard hand to the face of Garcia in the first half. So he has earned a yellow card.
That almost essentially just took the life out of this fan base for Goshen, as that's hands down the best chance that they had probably all season, and it was saved there by Sharp on the penalty kick.
Once again, Chris Venderly took the penalty kick for the Leafs. Tried to go to his left, and Sharp went to his right and was able to make the save there, keeping the score 1-0 in favor of the visiting Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies. Traveled just under 700 miles to get here, 10 to 11 hours on a bus. That is something. They've got something to look forward to if they get the win tonight. They get to go all the way back home. On their offensive half now, Gomes with possession, drops it back to White. White swings it over to Redgrave. Redgrave plays it up once again near corner, looking for Connor. He flicks it with his head towards the middle for Gomes. He's going to turn with it. He's got Reed on his back, drops it off for Morty. Morty back to Gomes. He turns with it, gets to Connor. They're going to call a tripping foul there. So a free kick for Gwinnett. Morty stands over the ball. He's going to take a quick one, play it down towards the corner for Gomes. Chup there in defense. Gomes takes the end line, tries to play one in. Chup deflects that one over the end line. Corner kick for Gwinnett. We cross under 23 minutes left here in the second half. Georgia Gwinnett leads 1-0 over the host Goshen College Maple Leafs in this last contest of the Goshen College Classic here this year. Going over to take the corner kick, it's going to be Gurr.
It'll be their third of the half, seventh total of the game, and let's see exactly what they have. As we mentioned, they've gone pretty low line drive 3 times.
This one is lofted high towards the far post. No one there except for, looks like it deflects off of Ashelman and over the end line. Another corner kick, this time the far corner, therefore Gurr's got a lengthy jog all the way across the field there to the other corner.
Yeah. But that is the player that you want to be taking this corner with. He has had an exceptional game so far, and may be getting overlooked a little bit because, of course, he's not in the goal sheet so far, but he has been playing at a high level.
Drives this one in right towards the edge of the 6. Trying to get there is Redgrave, and he goes right over Chup. They're going to say, looks like they're going to call the foul there. Redgrave dove over Chup. So it's going to be a free kick for the Maple Leafs. Looks the exact same location as would a goal kick. As we're at 21.5 minute mark here. Knopfsinger about to check in for the Maple Leafs. Brody Knopfsinger, fresh legs here as they try to continue their offensive attack in the last 20 minutes. Ball in the middle, Reed with it, gets it over to Nussbaum. Nussbaum swings far corner, looking for Ashelman making a run. Gurr there in defense. It's going to go over the end line. Did it bump Gurr? Actually stays inbounds as Ashelman now has it. He swings one towards the middle, goes over everyone. Reed able to trace this one down. He's got people coming from behind. Ball gets flicked forward, looking for Huerta. Bounces out to Garcia. He gets it up the line for Huerta. Poked out from behind by Redvanyi. It's going to be a throw-in for the Leafs. Knopfsinger now checking in. Number 20, the sophomore out of Archbold, Ohio. Coming in for number 10, Nate Nussbaum. He's going to get a rest, but based on his performance here the second half, I'm guessing it's not long till we see him coming right back in.
I'd say that's only fair. It is nice to be able to use as many substitutions as you want in the second half and have one player come on as many times or have off as many times they like. I like to see that.
Ball is thrown in. Knopfsinger trying to track it down to the box. Gurr with it, and he's going to clear it up towards the near sideline. Gomes and Garcia tracking it down. Garcia gets there first and heads it middle to Venderly. He flicks it forward and finds Huerta. His header bounces all the way back to White. White over to Redgrave along the back line for Gwinnett as more possession. It's exactly what they need as they have the 1-0 advantage here as we hit 20 minutes left in the contest. Redgrave plays it forward looking for Gomes. Venderly able to track this one down. Plays it up the middle, however, right back to Redgrave.
Now, see, like a play like that where they're at the midfield and the ball could easily be passed back to the defense. Instead, is moved up forward in trying to get something going. I understand, but you want to keep the ball. That's something that I hope that they can improve on this season.
Toribio works with Connor on the near sideline. He touches it middle for Gurr. He tries to find it. Toribio making a run through. However, once again, Jaden Chupp in the way. Ball cleared on the far sideline. Francois Revalier trying to chase it down against Lugo. Gives a little nudge on the back, and Lugo goes down. Looks like maybe a little bit exaggerated, but was a nudge nonetheless. Yeah. It's going to be a free kick for Gwinnett. Gurr standing over the ball once again as the taller big boys, as the saying goes, of the back line come up forward into the box looking for a second goal for their Grizzlies. Gurr drives this one in towards the goal, going up for it. Going to bounce around and be cleared out by Garcia. He finds Knopfsinger. Knopfsinger gets it over to Bontrager, who's going to clear it up looking for Stoltzfus. Ball ends up on the far sideline right back to the foot of Gurr. Gurr's going to drive this one far corner into the box. Finds Toribio. However, his head falls to the foot of Chupp, and he clears it forward. Morty settles the ball down, now drops it off for Toribio over to Connor.
Very impressive as he settled the ball down on a ball that was just basically skied up in the air by Chupp.
Huerta pressures and earns a free throw in there for the Maple Leafs. Garcia throws it up right back to Huerta. He's going to turn and try to take the sideline. However, Radvani clears it back to his keeper. Under 18 minutes left here in the second half of this evening's contest. Toribio with the ball in the middle. Drops it off for Muhene. He looks up middle for Gomes. He's going to flick it forward and then decide to keep it back here as he gets it over to Radvani. He touches up the line to Lugo. He dribbles towards the middle and drops it all the way back to White. White, the goal scorer, the lone goal scorer of the contest here this evening, gets it up to Lugo, who plays it up the corner. Looking for Connor. A little bit too much gusto, too much mustard on that pass, and it sails over the sideline. Throwing Leafs.
But in the second half from Goshen, we've seen a lot more chances. And it's been amazing to see that the 3 shots on net, 6 total shots in this second half, and of course 3 of those coming from Nussbaum, 1 of them off the crossbar.
Ball along the back line once again for the Grizzlies. It's Redgrave. Takes a touch and drives this one up for Gomes. Chupp intercepts that cross and heads it out of bounds. Radvani throws this one in to Connor. On his back immediately is Garcia, and Reed's going to be able to poke that one free out of bounds. Another throw in for the Grizzlies as we're now at the 16.5-minute mark. Grizzlies still lead 1-0.
The groin that might have been nagging Huerta seems to be looking just fine as he's had himself a nice contest so far.
Clock has been stopped at 16 minutes 30 seconds as Redgrave pauses to tie his shoe. Not something you usually see the clock stopped for, but nonetheless, we're good to go. Radvani throws the ball up the line looking for Gomes. Chupp on his back. He takes a touch towards the middle. Chupp stays with him. Cuts it back and looks for Toribio. He tries to find a corner for Connor, however, Garcia is there instead. He's clear up the line, intercepted by Morty. Gets over to Connor, back to Morty. Deflected out of bounds by Garcia. Another throw in here for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, the back 4 for Goshen have been stepping up in this entire game so far, with the only goal coming on a penalty kick.
Bontrager working against, that is Gomes. He drops it off for Connor. Slide tackle from Garcia. Gets too much of Connor. Does get a little bit ball, but too much of Connor. That's going to be a free kick 20 yards out towards the corner, though. So
And
not much of a shooting
sure,
angle,
yeah.
but
Yeah, in the back, as I was mentioning, Garcia, well, they look to take this free kick quickly.
ball gets driven in, cleared out by Bontrager. It's going to be a corner kick. Jogging over it once again is Gurr.
As I was mentioning, the back line includes of the right back, James Garcia, and in the middle is David Bontrager and Jaden Chupp. And on the left back, Ethan Francois Revalier.
This cross comes in and finds the head. I believe once again that was Redgrave. However, his header wide of far post. Checking in now, once again returning to action, number 10, Nate Nussbaum for the Maple Leafs. Looks like he's coming in for the person who came in for him. It's going to be Knopfsinger coming out.
And with that header that we saw, that's only the first shot of this half for Georgia Gwinnett, which in the first half they outshot Goshen 5-3. And Goshen outshooting this Gwinnett team in the second half 6-1 already.
That's a good testament to the back line for the Leafs.
No doubt about
However,
it.
coming through now is Lugo. Knopfsinger chases out and scoops that one up before he can get to it. We're at 14 and a half minutes. Goshen still searching for their first goal here. First goal of the Goshen College Classic, actually. Georgia Gwinnett currently up 1-0. Huerta tracks back against Connor to win that one back. However, his clear comes up to Muhene. He touches it middle, ends up at the foot of Toribio. He plays it middle for Lugo. He takes the touch. Not quite the touch he was wanting as it falls on the foot of James Garcia. He's going to clear it out of bounds.
Good defense there by Garcia. The best really that he could do there was clear one away out of bounds, and that's exactly what he did. He made a nice move there to get the ball away from Connor.
Ball's thrown back in now. It's Lugo working. Gets it over to Connor, back middle. Muhene swings it over to Gurr. He takes a touch and fires it back to the near corner for Lugo. Lugo is down, guarded by Garcia. Drops it off for Connor. Connor's going to swing this one into the box. Looking. Finds Gomes, however, his chest down. He's going to pretends he was bumped in the back. Still down on the ground, however, play continues as Huerta has it now for the Maple Leafs. Poked away from him by Redvani, out of bounds for a throw-in.
And I mean, time after time, we continue to mention the effort given by Isaac Huerta in today's game. He didn't start the game, but he came on in the 21st minute of the first half and has played ever since.
13 minutes and a few seconds left here in the game. Goshen trails 1-0. Coming up now is Ashelman, guarded by Gurr. Gets around, it takes a touch. They're going to say it goes over the end line. Last touched by Ashelman. That's going to be a goal kick for Sharp and the Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies.
Already 9 corners in this game for Georgia Gwinnett, and 5 coming in the second half. So they've had chances in that sense, but they haven't been able to get a shot on goal from those corners until this previous one that they just had.
Ball back in play. Stoltzfus with it in his offensive half. Loses possession, and Redgrave swings it towards the near sideline looking for Lugo. Garcia on his back and wins possession. He's going to keep it, drop it back to Chupp. Chupp has some time, takes a touch, and surveys his options. Goes middle to Venderly. Venderly looks towards the far sideline, then comes up middle for Huerta. Huerta's got Redgrave on him, drops it back off for Venderly. Venderly chips it forward looking for Nussbaum. Huerta able to track down the deflection there. Huerta drops it back to Venderly at the edge of the center circle. He swings it far side to Francois Revalier. Revalier takes a touch backwards, and he's going to be run off the ball by, looks like that was Connor. His pass forward a little too hard and dribbles all the way back to Knopfsinger for the Maple Leafs.
Now, with Nussbaum checking into the game, it looks like they have moved him to the right side previously where Huerta was playing, but now Huerta in the middle looking for another scoring opportunity.
Toribio plays it down the near sideline looking for Lugo. Garcia in pursuit. Lugo gets there, touches around Garcia into the box. Lays it off for Gomes. He takes a rip, curls away from the far post and wide for a goal kick. That was a great offensive opportunity once again for Gwinnett.
And Lugo made a great play there by getting past Garcia because that was all that he could really do. He couldn't send an early corner in. He didn't have any players with him in the box to cross one into, but the best he could do there was get by him. So he did. Waited till a player got there, sent a nice pass, and the shot only about 3 yards wide right.
Just over 10 minutes left of action here this evening. Goshen trails 1-0 to Georgia Gwinnett. Multiple offensive opportunities for both teams here in the second half. However, Gwinnett stays on top. Knopfsinger with the ball now for the Maple Leafs. His punt comes towards the near sideline. Huerta trying to track it down. He's got Radvani on his back. Last touch by Radvani. They're going to say throw-in for the Maple Leafs.
And it looks as though Huerta now back on his right wing position might have just been a temporary switch, but the only reason I mention that is Reed was there, and then once Nussbaum came in, they switched as well. So it looks like Nussbaum's still in the middle, which is good from your shot creator, who has been Nussbaum so far this season, really.
Possession maintained on the near sideline by Gwinnett. And right as I say that, they turn it over. Venderly plays it forward looking for Huerta. Overplayed there as it falls all the way back to Sharp. Sharp dishes it off to Redgrave along the back line. He plays it forward for Muhene over to the right back. That is Gurr. Gurr back to the center back. As Redgrave plays it over to White on the near side. He looks forward for, that is Lugo, finds him. He takes a touch and drops it back to Morty in the middle. Morty over to the near sideline and then right back to him. Takes a touch middle and plays it up to Ribio. They're going to say he was clipped on the heel from behind from Garcia. That's going to be a free kick just across half field for the Georgia Gwinnett. We're now at 9 minutes, 20 seconds left. Goshen still trails 1-0. Morty restarts the play and gets it right back. Has it on the near sideline. Touches it middle to Lugo. He touches back to Toribio. He touches middle and plays it over to Muhene. Muhene plays it forward to Connor. He's guarded by Francois Revalier. Takes a touch of middle, gets around one. He's going to have a left-footed rip. Deflected by Bontrager. Morty chases it down, drops it back to Toribio. Over to Muhene. Muhene over to Gurr, outside of his reach. He tracks it down, though, and tries to take end line on Ashelman. Ashelman holds strong. And they're going to call a foul then on Gurr for tugging on Ashelman's jersey once he got around him. Stoppage of play now, as we're going to have another card. This time, I believe it's going to be Gurr for delay of game. And a player now down sitting on the ground. Looks like it's going to be Redvani, possibly cramping of some sort. I don't know yet. However, he is on the ground. Clock has stopped at 8 minutes, 39 seconds. Checking in now, number 6 for Georgia Gwinnett. That is Ellis Husband. Husband, a sophomore defender out of Darlington, England. He's coming in for Redvani, the player who went down on the potential injury or cramp of some sort.
And Husband, the defender there, he's checking in for the first time in this match. And they're looking maybe to add another attacker there rather than Redvani, who has played this entire game so far.
A sub for the Maple Leafs. Brody Knopfsinger returns to action here as he subs in for number 17, James Garcia, getting his first break of the evening's contest. Ball played back in towards the middle. Ashelman goes up. Looks like he took a shot to the back of the head, however, he is fine. Knopfsinger working with it. Touches it middle to Stoltzfus, who touches it middle to Ashelman. He flicks it forward looking for Stoltzfus. Ball ends up coming out to Venderly. He plays it forward for Nussbaum. His touch is just wide and cleared away from by White. Ball bounces back to Bontrager, who took over for, it looks like that was going to be for Garcia, as Goshen has switched to only 3 in the back line as they look for more attackers. It's going to be a free kick now for the Maple Leafs. Reed stands over the ball as we're at 8 minutes left here. Goshen still pushing for that first goal of the evening.
And looks as though only 3 players besides the kicker not in the box for Goshen.
Ball gets driven in, flicked forward from Ashelman, however, then cleared out from Morty. Ends up at the foot of Venderly. He plays it back into the box, just loops it high up, and White's able to clear that down. Right back to Venderly. He puts it right back in, this time to Huerta. He takes a touch and drives one towards. That's deflected off of White and out of the near sideline. Lugo is going to complete the clear all the way back to Knopfsinger.
7.5 minutes remain. Still 1-0 is Georgia Gwinnett, and got to mention this earlier penalty kick chance from Goshen in the early portion of the second half, taken by Venderly but saved by Sharp, as well as a kick earlier about 20 yards out from Nussbaum that rung off the crossbar. So a lot of chances so far for Goshen, and they have, I would say, had a lot of this possession and are controlling the second half.
They definitely are. Ball played up the near sideline by that was White. However, that gets played out of bounds. So Maple Leafs have a throw in, switching the field over to Francois Revalier now. He looks up line for Knopfsinger. That's going to be a little bit too long and go out of bounds. Sub now for the Grizzlies. It's number 10, Matty Purinen, checking back in. Looks like he's coming in for, I believe that is number 13, Martin Lugo, who's going to get a rest here as we are now at the 6.5-minute mark.
Number 10, Maddie. Georgia Gwinnett sub, number 10, Maddie.
Ball thrown back in and cleared up the line by Gurr. Tracking it down, it's going to be Chupp. He's going to go up and win it forward. Gets a head on it over to Huerta. He goes up for the header. It bounces a little bit too high, and he can't quite get on it. Coming the other way now is Purinen along the near sideline. About half field, plays a little 1-2 with Toribio. He's going to switch it back over to Cook now. Or Connor, excuse me. Connor sells it down. Nussbaum in pursuit. Nussbaum able to poke this one free. However, Connor keeps with it and gets around him along the end line. Nussbaum tracks back. This time he's able to clear it up the line. Trying to get there now is Stoltzfus. Redgrave there in defense. Redgrave's touched a little bit too big. Ashelman picks it off. Gets it back to Venderly. His pass picked off by Purinen. He plays it forward for Gomes. Gets around one. He's working with Francois Revalier. Touches it over to Toribio. He gets through 1, 2, and into the box. No, he's asking for the call. He gave up on the ball a little bit there, thinking he was going to get a call. No call there. Possession. Our game continues on.
To mention four defenders rather were basically on his back, and maybe not the worst idea to give up that ball and hope for the call.
We are at the 5-minute mark now. Ball goes out the near sideline. Goshen throw-in. Huerta drops it and waits for Bontrager to come up and take it.
We've seen when Huerta really kicks it in the gear that he has been essentially forcing the ball to go out of play for the other team, and it's all because of his hard work in trying to keep possession.
Working down the near sideline now is Stoltzfus. Dribbles out of bounds. That's going to be a throw-in for Gwinnett now, as they have 4 minutes and 35 seconds to get off that clock before they have earned a victory here tonight. Leisurely taking their time now. Husband to take the throw-in. Looks up line for Purinen. Purinen asking for it on his head. It's going to go over him all the way up to Gomes. He turns and gets around Bontrager. Now he's got Chupp in his path. Takes it going down towards the corner. He turns, he's got to drop in Toribio. Maintains to keep possession, a little bit of possession game here. Chupp trying to get to the ball. He ends up dropping it back to Purinen. Purinen touches it up forward to Morty. Morty to Purinen, up to Toribio. He turns and is dropping it, going to take it right back. Definitely trying to keep possession here rather than go forward towards goal for Gwinnett. Toribio with it now over towards Gomes. Gomes middle to Morty. He flicks it on for Gomes. He's now into the box. He hits this one low and is going to rise up right into the hands of Knopfsinger. Coming the other way, outlets it to Nussbaum. Tracking back now is Connor. He plays it up to Stoltzfus, who's going to be tripped up from behind. They're going to say no call there as Morhene able to get that one back. Reed working against him now, gets it back, and ball comes up to Stoltzfus in the middle. Drops it off for Nussbaum. He's going to try to swing it near side, looking for Huerta. Huerta's going to track it down now as the clock ticks towards 3 minutes left here this evening. Huerta keeps it, tries to turn with it. Ball stays in play. Husband is going to take him down. They're going to say going to be a free kick for the Maple Leafs here, as we are now under 3 minutes. Venderly jogs over to take it. Huerta still down on the ground, slow to get up.
Coach Patrick telling Jaden Chupp to move forward into the box for this free kick.
Huerta is still down. Clock has been stopped at 2:47.
Gabriel Eisenbeis also looking to check on. He is a big 6'3" defender and looking to potentially getting another big body, as it looks like Huerta's down. So we do have
it looks
time.
like they're potentially just stretching, a little bit cramping as we are late into the game. However, if it's not a serious injury and Huerta doesn't need to come off, that means Eisenbeis will not be able to check in before this free kick.
But there's no doubt that they do want that extra body. Eisenbeis, it's going to be more, have a bigger role than he had last season so far this season.
Once again, 2 minutes, 47 seconds left on the clock. Goshen trails Georgia Gwinnett 1-0. Goshen with a free kick down on their offensive half along the near sideline. It looks like Jamie Reed as well as Chris Venderly to take it. Looks like Huerta is going to check out, still not recovering from the cramping or whatever he is dealing with right now. So that means Gabriel Eisenbeis will check in, the sophomore from Freeman, South Dakota, a very big man. Grew up on a farm back home in South Dakota, and he is not afraid of physicality, getting a little bit dirty in there.
Maybe the groin again for Huerta, but we'll have more information when we get it.
Ball comes in, going up for it is Eisenbeis. Ball gets flicked forward. Ball's up in the air at the top of the box. Venderly goes up for it. Ball finally gets cleared. It looks like that was Toribio. Touched down by Chupp. He gets it over to Knopfsinger. They're going to say a foul there from the slide on Chupp. He won the ball and slid right in front of the player. Didn't actually touch him, it didn't look like. They're going to say his studs were up, so therefore that's a foul. Coming the other way now, Georgia Gwinnett, as we now hit the 2:20 mark. Some strong opinions from the student section there as they did not like that call. We've got a stoppage of play now. Looks like the ref just preserving time as Gwinnett takes their time setting up this free kick. 2 minutes, 7 seconds on the clock. Ball played back in as the clock restarts. We're at the 2-minute mark now. Coming towards the near far corner, tracing it down. It's going to go over the end line off the head of Nussbaum. Corner kick, ball played immediately back in. Just looking to keep possession in the corner there. It's actually going to be miscommunication there. It's going to roll over the end line. Goal kick for the Maple Leafs. 1:45 left now as Knopfsinger looks to get this ball back into play.
And with time ticking down, a lot of these Goshen defenders moving forward.
Stoltzfus battling for the ball with Redgrave. Redgrave ended up on the ground. They're going to call a foul there. Things getting very choppy here in the last minute and a half that remains. Ball's at the half-field line. Menderly stands over it, ready to get this thing back into play.
Time still winding down. They have yet, or they are not going to stop the clock here.
1:10 as the ball's driven into the box. Going up for it. Sharp's going to come out and punch this one clear. Settled down by Morty and played up the near line looking for Toribio. He's going to then swing it to the far side line where Gomes as well as looks like that is De Piazza going for it. Knopfsinger comes out of the goal to clear that one out over the far sideline. Ball's going to stay, looks like it's going to stay in play actually as it loops high up in the air. We're at 50 seconds left, 50 ticks of the clock left as De Piazza keeps possession on the far sideline. Working together, Venderly and Ashelman poke the ball away out of bounds, however. Therefore, a throw-in for Gwinnett as they look to waste more time. 35 seconds. The clock has been stopped now as they taking their time with the throw-in. 34 seconds. Ball still yet to be thrown and finally comes in as the clock starts up again. Shielding the ball on the far sideline is De Piazza working. Nussbaum works it, gets a free throw-in, throws it up the line looking for Stoltzfus. However, Muhene is able to get in the way and clears that one right to Knopfsinger in goal. As we're now at 20 seconds, he swings it near sideline looking for Eisenbeis. He dribbles forward looking. He's got Bontrager checking on the near sideline. He lets it run through him. However, no one is there. We're now at 10 seconds as that ball gets cleared all the way down to the near corner. Knopfsinger tracking out to try to take it down. Not going to be able to get it there. 5 seconds left now as he clears it up the line. Over half, 2-1. That is the game. Gwinnett ends up on top here this evening as they earn a 1-0 victory on a penalty kick converted in the 16th minute of the contest by Andrew White. Goshen Maple Leafs with a ton of offensive opportunities here in the second half especially, but unable to convert on any of them as this game draws to a close. We're going to take a quick break here as we readjust, and when we come back, we'll have some post-game stats and analysis and talk about what's coming up next for the Maple Leafs right here on 91.1 The Globe, your Goshen College Sports Authority.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No, he's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 Wonders of the World.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
Why would someone with a successful career in New York City decide to move to Goshen, Indiana and stay? How is Goshen High School graduating nearly half its students with college credit? Why is there an international art gallery in downtown Goshen that rivals ones in much larger cities? Find out for yourself at goodofgoshen.com. Good of Goshen tells stories about people who reflect Goshen's generous character. See more at goodofgoshen.com.
Who do I play high school softball for? I play for my mom and dad who've never missed a game.
Whether they're playing for their teammates, their classmates, or their community, high school student athletes in Indiana learn important lessons they'll use for the rest of their lives, like respect for the rules and the value of hard work and sacrifice. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
September 17th, join us in welcoming Hippocampus and special guest American wrestlers as Ignition Music Garage's concert series continues. It's going to be a night filled with plenty of indie rock and some raw young talent. The show